sustainable growth is most relevant when we're really talking about Nigeria, one of the fastest growing economies in the world, growing at 7.4% in the third quarter. In this context, I'm now joined by the National Coordinator for Nigeria's Renewable Energy Programme, Ms. Bahijjahtu Abubakar. She is, of course, the National Coordinator for Renewable Energy in Nigeria. Ms. Abubakar, thank you very much for your time today. In this context, just give us an idea of the current state of the renewable energy sector in Nigeria.
Renewable energy in Nigeria is the fastest growing sector in that it's new and it's really exciting in Nigeria because Nigeria is committed to developing a low carbon growth in development in Nigerian economic growth. Hence, the development and focusing on clean development, because if Nigeria is going to be able to meet the target of being among the first 20 economies by the year 2020, we need to develop in a clean and sustainable manner. So renewable energy in Nigeria is focusing at three components. Number one is emission reduction. Secondly is poverty reduction. And the third is sustainable development. So the federal government, through the Ministry of Environment, is ensuring that the industrialization of Nigeria develops in a clean manner, where we are looking at a circular economy, where the waste of one industry becomes the raw material for the other. So at the end of this industrialization drive we are doing in Nigeria towards being the first 20, amongst the first 20 economies by the year 2020, we will be doing it at next to nothing waste coming out of the Nigerian economy.
So the key thing is really utilising raw materials and utilising waste in that value chain. Let's just give us an idea of where you are in terms of policy framework, because of course we know that the legal and policy framework creates the foundation with which to build a new sector on.
First and foremost, what we did was to be able to know what we have within the country. So last year we did what was called the energy auditing of our needs in Nigeria. Towards that, we know the energy cropping in Nigeria. So we know in this region, these are the energy crops that are available. If we need to move away from fossil-based fuel in Nigeria, Nigeria, as you're aware, is one of the largest exporter of crude oil. So we're trying to embrace clean oil, and so we are embracing jatropha and ethanol to be able to power the transportation sector. Also, we are looking at solar in the north because it's viable. The wind in the coastal region of Nigeria. So we know the wind mapping, we know the sun radiation, we know the energy crop that are available in every state in Nigeria. That we have done last year. This year, what we have done with the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, is to be able to develop a financial incentive for investment into the renewable energy sector. So policy-wise, we are gearing up to ensure that every player in the sector has an input. It's a draft policy at this point. We are hoping that in February, we're going to be convening in partnership with the NIPC, all players in the sector, for their inputs in the incentives to make sure that the renewable energy sector is viable and becomes economically viable for Nigeria.
From an approach to creating those incentives, we know that South Africa initially chose the feed-in tariff approach. That was then abandoned at the beginning of the year in favour of a bidding process. What type of approach is Nigeria looking at?
Nigeria is also looking at a feed-in tariff process. The Nigeria Electricity Regulation Commission in Nigeria is the one has the authority to develop the appropriate feed-in tariff. Right now, it's also in the draft sector. We will also be rolling that out early in January. That's the feedback we got from the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission. We want to be able to ensure that the clean energy development sector is commercially viable, so that the feed-in tariff that is rolled out is also an incentive for those that want to invest in the clean energy development in Nigeria. So the NERC, as it is called, is saying to us by January, first week in January, the new feed-in tariff for renewable energy sector will be rolled out. So we have all our fingers crossed.
Well, our fingers crossed, and we know that South Africa worked on ours for many years and then abandoned that. I mean, South Africa chose to abandon it because it was deemed anti-competitive. I mean, what learnings, though, can you take from South Africa's path?
What I think, not just from South Africa, from other African countries, is to ensure that there are certain instruments out there that ensures that when you find investment in clean energy uncompetitive, what you need to do is, through our negotiations with our development partners, there are certain instruments that are available for us to be able to mitigate the risk in investment into clean energy development. We need to be able to embrace those. What we have done in Nigeria is we know for sure that the renewable energy feed-in tariff will not be able to make the investors break even. So what we have done is to ensure that we have certain incentives that makes it viable for them to compete with the other competitors, which includes zero import duty, tax break, and also certain incentives that would make it viable for them, where they don't have to spend so much money.
We keep on talking about financing. Financing is so key in order to grow the renewable energy sector, given that gas, which is a major focus in Nigeria, is a lot cheaper. So when we're talking about financing, this brings into to focus the Green Climate Fund, which is a big focus here. Give us an idea of where you stand in terms of what Nigeria needs from the international community in terms of commitments with regards to green financing.
Green financing for us, as you know, in Nigeria, it's a big sector that we're trying to break into. And so for us, what we want, institutional framework, strengthening, capacity building, and start-off grants to be able to assist those that want to do big-time investment into renewable energy. Secondly, it will be a nice thing to have the SMEs that are the real foundation of every economy to be empowered. That way, it will go around, the wealth will go around, and the sector can become sustainable. We believe that in Nigeria, the needs of Nigeria could be different from the needs of Ghana or South Africa. In Nigeria, what we think the needs are to be able to raise international financing as well as local financing. We know our banking sector are doing very well. However, they do not have the basic knowledge to know the viability of financing clean energy. So institutional strengthening in the fact that we can have bankers on both sides coming together and sharing their experiences, so we know what not to do when the bankers are going to be financing, and when they find it risky, what instruments are out there for them to be able to mitigate the risk in financing clean energy development.